If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Well, hey guys, it's Wednesday, October 24th, and it's 9:27 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I don't have the webcam on tonight, and if you saw me, you would know why. But I had some very serious dental work done today, and I look like a chipmunk. Well, only on one side. And I have to tell you this before we get started. We're going to be looking at Q-related news, obviously, because there's no Q post, but there's a lot of news today. Anyway, I have to tell you this. I require more freezing than the average person. Usually, dentists use about 3 times more than they do on the average person. I don't know why that is, but it's always been that way. So they froze me, but it froze my eye. So it froze my left eye, and so I'm feeling all weird and everything. And of course, the doctor stepped out to give it, a chance to take effect, and the dental assistant is there, and she's talking to me, and she's asking me all these questions about where I lived in the States and just all these, and I'm trying to answer her, but I'm getting more and more numb. And I said to her, I have this weird feeling that my left eye is not moving. And she says it's not. And I said, but I feel like it's like when I blink, it's not closing. She says it isn't. I says, no. And she says, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So meanwhile, my eye, because I can't blink it, I've got this weird looking eye, one eye open. When I blink, this one eye is just staring at you. And, now it's all bloodshot and looks like, oozing. And so finally, I'm like when I smile, is it only one side? And she says, yeah. She says, yeah, it's you're pretty frozen. So I get up to look in the mirror because I'm thinking, okay, I'm sure it's bad, and I'm sure that I'll laugh because I expected it to be funny looking. But I looked in the mirror and I went, oh, my gosh, I'm a stroke victim. Like literally, I could not believe it. My whole eye was drooping. And, you can't tell yourself. If you're looking there and you blink, you can't see yourself blink, right? So I couldn't tell that my one eye wasn't closing when I blinked, but everybody else was saying, oh, it must have been pretty horrendous looking. And after I had to go out and do things, I had errands to run and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, please don't let me run into anybody I know. Because literally, I look like a stroke victim, and I was drooling on myself. And this eye would not stop, and it was just the weirdest looking eye. Like it looked like it had a life of its own, and anyway. All right, I'm going to go on to the news and forget about my dental day of hell. But to all the dental patients out there, I just want to say something. Ouch. Yes, once the freezing comes out, I'm in pain because they cut into my gums and stuff. But anyways, okay, enough of that. It's like, you ever go visit an old lady and she tells you like everything about the operation she just had, and you're like, please make her stop. Dear God, make her stop. I know that probably 90% of you are having a moment like that right now. So I'm moving on. All right, now today has been a day, and interestingly enough, I didn't know anything about it until, late in the day because of everything. And I was a little bit shocked because I had a friend from the States call me and, said, well, have you, been listening to the news? And I said, well, what now? And was really shocked about these packages. So we're going to get into that tonight, and some other things. But I want to say something to you guys, because you know how we're all kind of wondering, okay, where's Q? And we're thinking, okay, maybe he slacked off because of the midterms. Well, now I know for a fact. Now, no, I don't know for an absolute positive fact. I mean, I don't have any communication with Q, nor does anybody else. If they tell you they do, they're lying. But anyway, it struck me today because all of a sudden now the narrative, and I was just waiting for it. I thought, okay, how long is it going to be? And I said this to my friend. I said, oh, have they started blaming Trump yet? And he says, well, pretty much. And I said, I bet you it's going to end up being a Trump supporter. They're going to find him wearing a Make America Great Again hat, and he's going to have a Q t-shirt on or something. And we were joking about this because we know the drill. Everybody knows the drill. But interestingly enough, as soon as I got into, on the computer and started researching some stuff, and, I noticed that, yeah, they're already starting to say, oh, it's probably a Q follower. Well, see, it's important that Q isn't posting, because no matter what Q said now, everybody's watching the boards. The whole world is there watching the boards. Everybody's listening to Q. They may tell you they're not, but they are. Especially the left. They know Q is for real. They know. And so I think that is why Q is silent. Because no matter what Q said at this point, it would be turned against. And I think that it would be worse than Q just not posting at all. And I'm wondering now if we're going to see Q post at all until after the elections, so that the Dems can't say, well, it's this Q conspiracy that, whatever, that's what cost us the election. I mean, I think honestly that Trump and Q are controlling the narrative, and they're controlling the narrative right now by being silent in terms of Q. That's what I believe very, very strongly. So anyway, let's get into this, and we'll comment as we move along here. I'll have the video cam, or the webcam up tomorrow when I do my video, as long as my gums aren't real swollen and I'm all chipmunky, because nobody wants to be seen when they're chipmunky, especially women. They just don't. All right. Governor Cuomo deploys National Guard to the streets of New York City. Found this a little bit odd. This was in response to the packages. State law enforcement to be doubled at bridges, tunnels, airports, and mass transit systems. Over the last 2 days, explosive devices have been found at 3 New York locations that we are aware of, and state police are assisting Secret Service and other relevant and local authorities in this ongoing investigation. Now, I'm not going to get into all this, but I just think it's interesting that has been deployed. And I'll tell you some other things that I find interesting about this whole deal as we go on, because this is certainly not as it appears, that's for sure. Now, then of course we've got Pelosi and Schumer issue statement on President Trump's remarks on suspicious packages sent to Dem leaders, CNN, and of course they're going to have to open their mouths about it, because this is just, it's an opportunity for them, well, we're going to get into it in a minute. I don't want to run ahead of myself. Okay, Washington, D.C., House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer issued this statement after President Trump made remarks on suspicious packages sent to Democratic leaders and CNN. Once again, we salute the heroism of America's first responders as they work to counter the outrageous mail bomb attacks. We listened with great interest to the president's remarks this afternoon. We all take an oath to support and defend the Constitution and protect the American people, and that is our first responsibility. Okay, well, so far, so good. They haven't said anything too egregious yet, but of course, it's coming, so here we go. However, However, there's always a however with the Democrats, always. However, President Trump's words ring hollow until he reverses his statements that condone acts of violence. Now, what statements would they be? I listened to President Trump. I listened to his speeches. I've never heard him condemn violence. The only time that it would even come close is when he said something to that one guy that had actually assaulted a reporter or something. That was just a few days ago. Okay, but I've never heard him say anything that could be construed as violent or as condoning violence. But this, according to Nancy, I don't even know how she remembers, because how does she remember all his speeches? But anyway, yeah, this, I guess it doesn't have to be true. It just, they just make it up as they go along, and they hope that people are too stupid to pick up on it. Time and time again, the president has condoned physical violence. Really? Have you ever heard the president condone physical violence? Because I haven't, and I'm being completely honest here. I'm just saying I don't recall even one time the president ever condoned physical violence. But this, according to Pelosi and Schumer, time and time again, the president has condoned physical violence and divided Americans with his words and actions, expressing support for the congressman who body slammed a reporter. Well, I don't think he was, I guess that could have been construed in that way by somebody who is an enemy of Trump, definitely. But here's this: the neo-Nazis who killed a young woman in Charlottesville, his supporters at rallies, when his supporters at rallies aren't violent. His supporters at rallies who get violent with protesters. I haven't seen violence on the side of the right. I've seen a lot of it from the left. Anyway, and he's saying dictators around the world who murder their own citizens and referring to the free press as the enemy of the people. Yes, they are the enemy of the people, and they're anything but free. They're not a free press. Do you people even know what a free press is? No, you don't. Somebody needs to free press your face. Literally. I mean, they have no idea. Or maybe they do. I mean, I can't believe that all of these people are that stupid. Like, some of them just have to be plain evil. Like, Pelosi, Feinstein, Schumer, I don't think these people are necessarily stupid. I think they're evil. They're crazy like a fox, All right. Boy, that ginger ale's good. What is it about ginger ale when you're not feeling well or you have pain or something? I don't know what it is, but it does something. Anyway, this from Paul Sperry: 6 bombs sent to Democrats, 0 go off, all crudely made pipe bombs and conspicuously obvious explosives, and all easily screened and discovered. Stunt seems designed for maximum political media optics, not maximum damage. I'd have to agree. This is the most ridiculous false flag I've ever seen in my life. Literally, it is. And it only took about 5 or 10 minutes of looking into it before I was rolling my eyes. Both eyes. Because once the freezing came out, I could even roll my left eye. It was awesome. My left eye was so happy. Anyway, so let's go on. We've got more silliness coming up. Like this. Why are the stamps not postmarked? Canceled? Yeah. Why aren't they? That's a really good question, isn't it? Because whenever I send something in the mail, it gets the little post stamp. It's this, nothing. There's nothing on this. Did they just know it was explosive by looking at it? So they, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And if they're so afraid of it exploding, why did they take the time to photograph it? Just saying. Something came to me and I suspected it was a bomb. You think I'd take a picture of it? No, because all you'd be seeing from me is like heels and toenails and, and rump. That's what you'd see. The back of me. Running fast. All right. Now, this is interesting. This is by Tom Sawyer. I would imagine that's how you pronounce that last name. A few observations from a former bomb disposal officer, i.e. me. 1. Pipe bombs don't have wires connected to both ends. That's dumb. So, well, I don't know. I've never made a pipe bomb. I have no desire to make one. I have no desire to learn to make one. And I've never seen one up close. But I would imagine that a former bomb disposal officer knows full well what a pipe bomb looks like and how one is made and how to whatever they call it, disarm it. Which is strange because it doesn't even have arms. But anyway, now this really caught my attention, okay? Because I remember this tweet. I mean, don't throw things at me, but I do follow Hillary on Twitter because I like to make fun of her tweets and I like to reply to her tweets. And yes, and I don't swear. They're worded well, but they're not kind. They're truthful. But anyway, so this came across my Twitter feed the other day, and I remember thinking, that is one weird tweet. Because I remember thinking, who's she talking to? Because, listen, Hillary Clinton, whatever you choose to do something. With only 2 weeks before the election, we don't have a moment to lose. Now, all of her other tweets, they're usually encouraging people to support a candidate or encouraging people to get out and vote because you know how, she's pumping up people, you gotta vote blue. Well, when this came across, I remember thinking, who is she talking to? Because you can't vote until it's time to vote. So what's she saying? Whatever you choose to do something. With only 2 weeks before the election, we don't have a moment to lose. And I remember thinking, I don't understand what she's saying and who she's talking to. Is she talking to the Democrats that they need to do something to help their candidates get out there, put signs up, whatever? I don't know. But I'll tell you what I think now. I think she was giving a signal to someone. I think this was the signal for them to do something, anything. That's what I think. And this person obviously thinks this as well. Hillary Rodham Clinton calling for the false flag 2 days ago from the board. Now, this was posted on the Chans, but I remember getting this tweet and thinking, doesn't make sense. What's she saying? Why is she saying that? So I don't know, but I'm thinking that this was the signal to whoever that, okay, guys, some of these things that we discussed, somebody better do something fast here. Come on. We've only got 2 weeks left to go. Come on. And notice how today, what was absent from the news? The caravan. It was all about the bombs now. The caravan just kind of faded away. I don't know. But Hillary Rodham Clinton tweet 2 days ago, plus bombs today. Coincidence? Hillary Rodham Clinton tweet was a coded message or plead for help from the cabal, probably. That's what I think. And you guys may agree or disagree, and that's fine, but put it in the comments below. If you disagree, tell me why. If you agree, that's fine. But tell me what you think of this, because I believe it was Democrats. I don't think that there's any question, in my mind at least, that it was. And probably to draw sympathy for them, and also it gives them a chance to poke at Donald Trump, right? Because they can say, well, it's his fault. This is his followers that are doing things like this. You know the drill. And then there's Soros' son, who's blaming Trump. Soros' son blames Trump and demonization of opponents for bomb packages. Yes, it's all. And look at this guy. He looks like, I don't know, deer in the headlights look right there. I mean, blank, like nobody's home there. That's what that looks like to me. It's like, hello, knock, knock, knock. Anybody there? Nope. The eyes are on, but nobody's home. Seriously, that's the way he looks to me. He just doesn't even look normal. But I don't know how you would be normal if that was your father. In what must be one of the most rapidly written, edited, and published op-eds in New York Times history, Alexander Soros, son of billionaire globalist puppet master George Soros, has penned a blamescaping piece pointing directly at President Trump's politics of demonizing opponents as responsible for the bombing of his father, the Clintons, the Obamas. And, well, first of all, nobody was bombed, okay? In fact, now they're finding that some of those devices were not even, active at all. Like, they wouldn't have blown up. So, yeah. But anyway, I guess, he has to blame somebody because he can't say, well, my dad did this. So anyway, the Clintons, the Obamas, and, well, anyone else who has received a suspicious package in the last few days and is not in any way right-leaning. Yes, it's all, it's all Donald Trump's fault. He's responsible for everything. So the article, with a title so ironic it has to be farce, "The Hate That Is Consuming Us," runs the gamut from saintly McCain defending Obama's virtue in 2008 to President Trump and Prime Minister Orban's extremist fringes to the poison of anti-Semitism, which, given many of the stories about his father's behavior, is somewhat surprising. We strongly suggest removing all sharp objects and ensuring no fluids are present in your mouth before reading the following. Via the New York Times. On Monday afternoon, an explosive device was delivered to my father's home north of New York City. An alert member of our staff recognized the threat and called the police. Fortunately, the authorities were able to detonate the device safely. On Wednesday, the Secret Service said it had intercepted similar devices sent to the offices of former President Barack Obama and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. We are all grateful that no one was injured and grateful to those who kept us safe, but the incident was profoundly disturbing as a threat not just to the safety of our family, neighbors, colleagues, and friends, but also to the future of American democracy. Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah, like, I guess if a bomb had gone off, then I guess that would be it for the whole free world because George Soros was dead. Is that what you're saying? Apparently. It's the end of democracy as we all know it. Gosh. Anyway, let me see here. My family is no stranger to the hostilities of those who reject our philosophy, our politics, and our very identity. My father grew up in the shadow of oh, please, 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 please. That's not even, oh, anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. All right. And there's a long list of people who find that proposition unacceptable, and my father has faced plenty of attacks along the way, many dripping with the poison of anti-Semitism. Yes, right, that's the reason we don't like you. Right, okay. If that's what you say. Yeah, anyway. But with Donald Trump's presidential campaign, things got worse. White supremacists and anti-Semites like David Duke endorsed his campaign. Mr. Trump's final TV ad famously featured my father, Janet Yellen, chairwoman of the Federal Reserve, and Lloyd Blankfein, chairman of Goldman Sachs, all of them Jewish. Oh, well, yes, that's what it is. Donald Trump hates Jews. That's it. That's it. This is... Anyway, I'm not going to read this because it's annoying. It's really, really annoying. And we already know. You know what? I could write this stuff. Seriously. Like, I could write this stuff. It's fiction. Anyway, let's go on. Just because we can. And, well, maybe I can't. I don't know. What is happening here? Where's my... This is what happens when you have dental work. And you take a Tylenol 3 before you do your show. This is exactly what happens. All right. Now, here's another one from Paul Sperry. Bombs not functional, elaborate hoax. Why do Dems resort to elaborate stunts? Hacked DNC server, Russia dossier, Kavanaugh frauds, caravan, fake bombs, because they can't win straight up. Can't run openly on ideas. If they did, nobody would buy what they're selling. Warmed over Marxism. Yeah, that's about right. And then there's Donald J. Trump, our president. Hard to believe that with thousands of people from south of the border walking unimpeded towards our country in the form of large caravans, that the Democrats won't approve legislation that will allow laws for the protection of our country. Great midterm issue for the Republicans. Yeah, it is. And you would think, honestly, the way they're behaving, you would think they want to lose. Really. You would think they wanted to lose. Don't you think that now's a good time to be discussing immigration? You would think, but no, not for the Democrats. No, they don't care. They really don't care what happens to our country. As long as they personally stay in power. And what do they care if the nation descends into civil war? They're all living behind, their stone fortress. They're living in stone fortresses. They've all got security. You've seen how the walls around their houses, they don't care. The immigrants aren't going to get in, be any nuisance to them. Like, they don't care. They don't care if illegals come in and rape and murder our citizens or are driving drunk on our roads and you can't really prosecute them. What do? They let them go. They say, well, show up for your court date. Yeah, right. Yep. All right. Now, this is from Bill Mitchell. Stupid comes in threes. 1, Kavanaugh hearings. 2, caravan. 3, fake mail bombs. Dems are stuck on, Yeah. Now, look at this. Nothing that'll shock you too much. Twitter let MAGA bomber conspiracy theory rise to the top of trending topics. Well. You think it got there on its own? It didn't. Yeah. A conspiracy theory alleging that the culprit behind the attempted bomb attacks on former President Obama, the Clintons, and others is a Trump supporter became the top trend on Twitter today. In the wake of a number of attempted bomb attacks on left-wing news outlets and politicians, the conspiracy hashtag MAGA bomber became the #1 trending topic on the platform in the U.S. Users tweeting in the hashtag allege that whoever is behind the attempted bombings is a supporter of President Trump or has been influenced by his comments criticizing left-wing news outlets and politicians. Below are some examples of tweets attacking the president and his supporters. Everybody knows who committed this. Everybody knows who incited it. MAGA bomber. You know, the thing is, they were ready with all this before it even happened. They were all ready with the narrative. And as soon as I heard this, I said, oh, yeah. They'll probably have some, poor, what do you call it, patsy, and wearing a MAGA hat and a Q t-shirt, and they'll say, oh, this is the guy, see, told you. Trump is as unfit today as he was yesterday, and Republicans are just as complicit. Republicans could have stopped Trump from the craziness. They had the power then, and they have it now, but they won't. They're culpable for the result. Why would anyone vote for any Republican in these times? Vote for Democrats on November 6th. Now, if that does not sound, like a narrative that they are out and out blaming Trump. And are these supposed to be all the angry Trump supporters? I guess. I don't know. They look a little angry to me. All right. FBI releases photos of possible suspects. Oh, okay. So they've got these people because they were angry at a Trump rally, I guess. I don't know. We deserve leaders who are fit for the job. Vote for Democrats on November 6th. Well, sure, we'll vote for the Democrats, and then we'll just give away our uranium, and we'll just give weapons to people, and we'll open up all our borders and let in all the people that want to come. It doesn't matter if they're from Mexico or Central America or South America, or if there's other people in there like ISIS or whatever. Just let them through. That's fine. Let everybody in. Everybody's in. Yep. And we'll just pay for everybody. If you have a job, just keep working. You'll need that job because you're paying now for extra people. So we'll work. Let's work you and I to death. But they'll let everybody else in. Yeah. So anyway, we don't today's facts. That doesn't even make sense. We don't today's facts. But we do know today's climate created by Trump. That climate is consistent with today's events. I think Trump is unfit. He's incapable of leading with integrity. Republicans should demand his resignation. Right. So they're talking about integrity. Wow. Do they even know what that big word means? I don't think so. The MAGA bomber is a direct result of real Donald Trump's comments about the media being the enemy of the people. Yes, right. That's what did it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Right. Conservative activists have, however, began utilizing the hashtag, pushing back on anti-Trump propaganda and conspiracy theories. Some have even mocked those blaming President Trump. Okay, I didn't see this before, but now that's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. Right there. That's funny. That's my humor. Like big time, that's my humor. Okay. Looks like the MAGA bomber continues to strike with impunity. That's funny. And down here. You have shut down plenty of hashtags. Why is MAGA bomber trending? This is a disgrace since no one has any idea who did this. Please fix this. Oh, right. I'm sure they'll get right on that. Authorities intercept suspicious package. I think she's a suspicious package. I think she's a suspicious package and should be kept out of the Senate. I'm just saying. I wouldn't let her in. She looks like she could explode. She looks like she's got a few wires hanging loose. Anyway, MAGA bomber is a conspiracy theory. There is no proof of motive. Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. to the left. So anyway, and there's more of this, but let's go back. See what other trouble we can get into. Yeah, and I like this right here. Tom Sawyer responding to this person down here who said, as a former law enforcement officer, we would never release images of any information about an alleged explosive device, details about how they arrived, or anything like that. This would be a full blackout, wide open investigation. This is propaganda, folks. Yeah. When a bomb has gone off, have they shown a picture of it? Ever? Or a bomb has failed to go off? Have they ever? I've never seen it on the news. Ever. So I would agree with that person, and obviously they know what they're talking about. They're a former law enforcement officer. And no, this is an open investigation. They don't know who did it or anything else. So why are they giving all this information and showing pictures of it? Really? Yeah, they wanted it on the news. Anyway, in response, this person, Tom Sawyer, said, nailed it. Also, the photo doesn't appear to be taken by a bomb tech or crime scene investigator. Bad angle, poor lighting, etc. So if it's being taken by a journalist, why would they let them near a live pipe bomb? That's a good question. I'd like to know the answer to that. I wouldn't be getting anywhere near it. Would you? Oh, let me get a picture of that. Yeah, right. Okay, well, now, and then there's this. But, of course, this won't receive any news by, real news anyway. This person, New Jersey GOP congressional candidate, receives letter threatening his family. And what about the one of the candidates, either Massachusetts or Maine, I can't remember which one it was, but it was a woman, and she was being threatened to be raped and killed and everything else. And then you've got the ricin that was sent to, was it Donald Trump Jr.? It was the White House, and I don't know where all it went now. I can't remember, but the media didn't seem to care too much about that, did they? Nope. They only care if it's the left. All right, now let's go back here. And let's look at this. I've forgotten what this is. We'll discover it together. Won't that be fun? All right. What does this have to do about? Okay, let's not forget how quickly images of the bomb got out. The police would not release such images because it would harm the investigation. I'm betting the media took the pictures before the police took custody. That's what I'm thinking. Things are just not adding up. A few observations from a former bomb disposal officer. Pipe bombs don't have wires connected to both ends. That's dumb. And then this is the one that we just looked at as a former, we would never release images. And then let's see if there's anything else down here. Well, I'm not really sure why I had that there, because we already had taken a look at it basically, but oh well. And this from Sarah Sanders. The Democrats' open border policy is an open invitation to the caravan. Thank God we have a president fighting for the rule of law and willing to stand up to the liberal mob trying to unleash chaos across our country. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. And the other thing I wanted to say about the caravan, I'm starting to find pictures, and there's, unfortunately, most of it is in Spanish of people talking, but these are people that are really upset. The Mexicans are getting very upset with the caravan, and I'll tell you why. Because these people seem to be freewheeling with their money. They have all sorts of money, which the people around them in Mexico do not have. So they're like, wait a minute, why are all these people getting all this attention and money? And we're in poverty as well. So they're starting to resent these people. The second thing is they're not even respecting the Mexican laws. So they're not respecting the Mexican laws, and they're sure as heck not going to respect the U.S. laws. They're carrying their flag and calling, Trump a Nazi and everything else. You know, the Democrats are probably already lined up at the border waiting to sign them up to vote. I don't know. It's and the other video that I saw, and I was going to play it except that it's in Spanish. And I do understand a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to interpret word for word. But this woman was, upset because after the caravan left her, and really it's not a caravan. We should stop calling it that. It's not a caravan at all. It sounds so, just happy and yippee skippy. A caravan. Oh, doesn't that sound fun? But yeah, it's not that at all. Anyway, she was upset, and so were the other people in the community because the garbage was unbelievable. They trashed this small town. And who has to clean it up? You think the caravan's going to come clean it up? And there was just like the streets were just like wet, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, is that urine? Is that water? Is it urine? I don't know. I don't want to be there and find out and smell. Ugh. Reminds me of when I went to school in New Orleans, and my gosh, down around, the famous street, Bourbon Street. You walk by there, you walk within a block of there, you could smell the urine and vomit on the streets, and it was disgusting. Now, I love New Orleans. I think it's one of the most unique cities probably in the world, and it's, there's a lot of good things about New Orleans, but the smell of its streets are not one of them. Anyway, so you can just imagine what this caravan is doing to Mexico, and the Mexicans are not happy. They're not happy. They didn't invite those people there. Now, they let them through, but I don't know really what choice they had because they were clearly outnumbered. But anyway, that is it for tonight. That's the main things that I wanted to hit on anyway. Certainly we needed to discuss the what has happened today, and who knows what tomorrow will bring. It's like every day is, I don't know, it's like there's like a year's worth of news packed in, one day. Things are happening so fast, and I really think that there's going to be a lot of change in the next few weeks. Whether it be good or bad, I don't know. I'm just wondering what's going to happen when the Democrats lose. That's what I'm wondering. And I'm thinking it's not going to be pretty. It's just not. I think that there's going to be violence. I really do. So just prepare. I'm certainly not wanting to scare anyone by any stretch of the imagination, but it is good to be prepared. Make sure that you have, if you carry, make sure that you carry and have ammunition and have some supplies. You should always have enough for, because you just never know. Now, I've always lived that way because I grew up in the north where we could get snowstorms when I was young that could, have you indoor for several days. We don't get those anymore. But anyway, it's always good to be prepared. So not wanting to scare anyone or be, I'm not into fear porn, but there's a difference between fear porn and, urging people to prepare. And I think that people do need to be prepared because I don't know what's going to happen after the elections. And I don't think it's going to be good. I think that, certainly, I think that Donald Trump knows what he's doing. And I think that he will do whatever he needs to do to keep Americans safe. I do believe that. But, he can't be everywhere. So there you go. Now, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll be back with the webcam tomorrow. I won't be all chipmunky faced then. I promise. Well, I can't promise, to tell you the truth. I can't. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Have a good night and stay safe and sleep well.